Okay. Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. So welcome to another Disney princess video. Like it's not like the evolution video where like I want to make the video for so long. This one is something that I just have in mind. Like if you keep an eye on the Disney princess franchise, you're like, who is the most popular princess? Who is like everywhere in this princess franchise? There's like, in case you know, there's like 13 princesses officially. And if Frozen was included, also would just be #1. Done. It's over. So anyway, yeah, welcome to another video. If you like any princess content videos in my channel, please make sure to subscribe and like. I have tons of fun making princess content, and this is something that which will be very debatable in the comments down below, except for the bottom princess. That one is pretty much easy to tee. Everybody agrees to saying these are like the most popular princess. Hopefully in the future that can change. So you know, that's what evolution is for. So if you want to check out my evolution princess branding video, please make sure to check that out, and then maybe you can watch this one after, whichever works for you in your pleasure. So yes, I want to explore who is the most popular princess in the princess brand franchise, and I'm doing it based on like, it's kind of like I'm doing it not just for my personal taste, that too a little bit, but like it's more like observation, and I can actually try to state my argument as to why they are this and that in the ranking. So yeah, and that the top is where things get a little bit spicy and some fights could be happening, which I won't be surprised, especially who I pick as #1. It's time to grab your, I'm just looking at my notes, but it's time to grab your wands, headband, and crown. It's time for me to rank who is the most popular Disney princess in the princess franchise. Let's go. There is 13 of them, and I accidentally put 14. It's actually 13. Okay, let's go. So number 13, we can all agree with this. It's everybody's least ranking. People forgot that she is part of the franchise because sometimes Disney itself forgot that she's in the franchise. So anyway, it's Raya. Unfortunately, Raya is the least popular Disney princess. She's rarely in the princess franchise. Like, it's so rare. That's how bad it is. It's so rare to find her included in the franchise. I think it's because like she was added very quietly, similar to Ma, which we'll get into. And I'm hoping that her park involvement in the Disneyland Paris, so she has her own float. Hopefully that will kind of change. Hopefully she has some popular, like her movie's not that bad. Like, it's not that bad. I think it's just because she's just very underrated, and it's very, I think it's just the marketing of how they market this film, especially because her movie was released during pre-COVID, before Encanto took everything. So yeah, some of y'all don't even know she's part of the franchise, but she is. It's just Disney's fault for not including her a lot, except for the doll line, but like she's rarely in it. So unfortunately, she is number 13. She is the least popular princess, unfortunately. Hopefully that will change as time goes on, but you never know. So anyway, number 12 will definitely be Merida. Not only Merida's the second least popular princess, but she's also one of the most controversial ones. Some people like her, some people don't like her, especially like her action and choice in her own movie. And it's weird. She is born royal, but she's one of those princesses that doesn't want to be a princess, but she kind of accepts her fate, fate after her end for Journey of that movie. And I think like her style is, she's just very hard to market her in the Princess franchise. That's why you don't really see her. She is included sometimes, especially like with this cookbook over here. See, it looks weird when she's in there because you don't associate with her cooking. Maybe Rapunzel and Tiana, but not her. And if you put her with adventurous stuff, like princesses doing adventure things, yes, she would be great at that with her bow and arrow. But otherwise, it's not as rare as Raya, but she's, again, rare. And it would be cool if you're able to see her in her marketing, but she's just not everywhere, unfortunately. So she's number 12. So number 11, the third least popular princess, has to be Pocahontas. I feel like Pocahontas is one of those, like, she's one of those princesses, well, some people debate that she's not a princess, but she is like a chief of a daughter. I feel like the princess branding really saved her. I think that too, the branding, and also she has an amazing song like Colors of the Wind, Just Around the River Bend, her amazing vocal. I think that one really kept her popularity and her spirit alive. I feel like without this princess franchise, I feel like she would be left under the rug, similar to Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame. But I feel like the franchise is only keeping her alive. I think she's same thing with Merida. Very rare to see her in the princess marketing. But I like how in the parks, she's kind of like roaming everywhere. Like, you can easily, hopefully, find her. But like, I think the princess branding is the only that's keeping her alive. An amazing song, an amazing hair, amazing everything. But her story isn't really great. That's why Disney tried to wash it away. And yeah, that's the unfortunate part with Pocahontas. And she's also part of the original like 6 lineup. Again, she is rarely, not as rare as Mulan I'll get into, but like she is very rare is the key word with Pocahontas. Okay, so number 11, this is true, this hard sometimes. She's one of the most least popular princess in the OG 6. It happens to be Snow White. Sorry, Snow White. I think it's because some people just don't really like her personality. Unfortunately, that's why she's at the bottom. And her story is, again, like not really, people love it. I love her story, but not everybody's like not, it's not like well beloved. It's because she's old. She's like a very old princess. But I know in the early 2000s she was featured a lot in the princess franchise. She's still at the top, but she's like featured a lot. But now in the modern age, she's like rare, like not as rare as the bottom 3, but like she is one of those 6 where she's not featured a lot nowadays. And I know for sure her live action movie didn't boost up her popularity, her interest and stuff. That's just, you know, the unfortunate part. I think like the only thing that keeps her alive is she's the first Disney animation, so you gotta respect that crown. But it's one of those, it's like she's one of those princesses where like she should be popular, but she isn't. It's like Victoria Justice versus Ariana. Like Victoria should have been popular in Ariana because she has her own show, but she isn't, unfortunately. It's kind of like that, how I feel about Snow White, like a metaphor to put it that way. So yeah, she is number 10. So I got mixed up with the numbers when I put the rankings. So that was 40 to 10. So the next original 6 that's the least popular happens to be Jasmine. I think like in the early 2000s, Jasmine is featured a little bit, but she's like sometimes in the front marketing, sometimes she isn't. And again, same thing as Snow White. But I feel like right now she is like, I was gonna say rare again. That's the keyword, rare. She's featured once in a while, but not like aggressively a lot where you see her all the time. But at least she's not like super rare like the bottom 3 princesses. I think for her, Jasmine, her movie, like it's not her own movie. She's like kind of like a co-lead in Aladdin with Jasmine, but she has beautiful hair and she's just at the bottom, unfortunately. So another bottom 3 from the original 6, I put Aurora. Aurora's like that girl where like her villain overshadowed her. Even in the live action version, she didn't even get her own movie. She was kind of like supporting lead / co-lead, but not the lead of her own movie. She didn't even get her own movie. She had to share. And she's of course definitely the least popular blonde princess. And I think that's why she's not the very bottom, is because people love her style. People love a pink princess. And I love the soundtrack. She's present a lot in the parks, of course, with the castle and stuff. And people just love, I think people just love her appearance. She just looks great in the franchise, but like people don't know much about her personality. I think it's the fault of her own movie because she's rarely in the movie. She sleeps most of the time, so we don't know much about her, but people just love her aesthetic. That's why she is not at the bottom, but she's not the popular, but like people really love her. She's like, people love how she looks, but not so much on how she is deep down. You know what I'm saying, with the other princesses? So yeah, that is number 8. So now we're moving on to number 7, which is actually Mulan. I put Mulan, she's kind of in the middle, kind of close to the bottom, but not very so much on the top. Mulan is one of those princesses, she's very debatable, like whether or not she should be in the franchise or not, but she is according to Disney. And at least Mulan has a better treatment than Pocahontas, especially in the early 2000s. But I feel like Mulan is one of those princesses where like in the early 2000s you'll be surprised, whoa, I didn't know she's a princess, because she's like sometimes added but sometimes isn't added. But that all changed. She was added a little bit more when the 2010s came around, when they rebranded the princess more like girl boss level, and she fits in that category. So you start to see her a lot more, which I really like. But at least like the only thing she did good is like she did open up a new category, act of heroism. That's why she is in the franchise. Also diversity too. So yeah, so she's number 7. So the next one, this breaks my heart, but sometimes truth hurts, as I say. So now we're moving on to the top 6 princesses. So we are with, I put Belle. Belle reminds me of like, it's like a child star. Like they used to be popular in her peak days and now they're not so much. I've had happens with Belle. I feel like she was so popular. She was honestly one of the top 3s, I would say, in the original 6. But I think right now she's not as featured in the lineup as she was back then. I think it's because like there's just other better princess people like. I mean, people still love Belle. Belle isn't a great character in Princess, but I think like there's just better other princesses, unfortunately. But like she's still popular, but not as she was back in the day. That's one way to put it. That's my reasons why she's at the number 7. She's almost at the top, but not so much. I think I transfer her with Tiana. I put Tiana's number 5. I think Tiana is one of those. Tiana's like being saved by her fans. People really love Tiana, and Disney really knows it. They try to. She's one of the princesses. She has her own ride. Not her own. I know Belle has her own ride, but in Tokyo Disneyland. But Tiana has her own ride, which is very nice, and she's very popular despite her having a poor box office performance. But you know, people just love her personality. People love her style, her cooking, and sometimes she is in the marketing, but not as much like Belle. I feel like Belle and Tiana are kind of the same how I feel with their marketing, but Belle isn't as popular as she was then to now. That's the only difference between those two princesses, the poor, rich and poor. But like she's like in the top 5, which is amazing for her. Good for her. So the next one I'm gonna put for number 4 would be Moana. The reason I didn't put Moana as one of the top 3s, here's the reason why. Moana is such an interesting case because like she is like growing her popularity. She's like one of those, like, you know when you see like those pop stars where like, well, she's like a huge channel. Let's see how that, she's like kind of like Chaperone, where like she's very popular, but like I want to see where her career goes as the years go on. That's something with Moana. She's super popular to the point where she's kind of like the new face of the modern age. I know Rapunzel's coming up, but like, but I don't want to put her because I don't know how she is in the future, but she's like almost in the top 3. I would say she's like everywhere in the Princess franchise. Popular, like put her face a lot, and I think it's because like her sequel reached $1 billion, and her popularity movie when Disney Plus came out, she's one of the most popular Disney princess movies. People love Moana, and I'm curious to see where that goes, if she still will keep her popularity alive. And I'm surprised because I remember when her debut movie came out 10 years ago, I thought she was gonna be at the bottom, but I'm happy that based on her recent urge of popularity, she went from the bottom to like the top now, and one of the most popular Disney IP and a popular princess, I would say, even though she claims she isn't, but she is. There we go. So yeah, now we're moving on to the top 3 princess, and number 3 I put Rapunzel. Rapunzel reminds me like Gretchen in the group, kind of like she's almost with the leader, but like she's kind of like Aurora, where people love her personality. People love a blonde. People love her personality and style, but I feel like her movies, well, of course, well more loved than Sleeping Beauty. I mean, Sleeping has a amazing aura. It's just more, you know. The only thing that really hurts her is like she's not as big as like Moana and Frozen. Of course, Frozen clears everybody in this list, but like people just love a blonde princess, and she's like a perfect example of a great blonde princess with long hair, even though she did cut her hair from her movie. But like she is still like a great, she's like everywhere in the princess franchise. Like you see her everywhere, like almost like Moana level, but she's at the top 3. I'm gonna acknowledge that she was everywhere in the princess franchise. So yeah, she's number 3 in the modern era. Actually, the last like official princess with like that's Caucasian in the lineup. Ever since that, it's been like diverse, which we love. Okay, so here's number 2. Some of you all will hate me, some of you all will probably agree with me, I don't know. So I put, at least she's number 2. I acknowledge her popularity. I put Cinderella as number 2. I know some people would argue that Cinderella is the face of the princess franchise, which I do see. Yet she is one of the most like debatable Disney princess, I gotta say. Some people argue with her story where like she's down this road, but no, she like stays first, like because of the sequel that she came out. And I think there's a reason why she is super popular to this day after how many years her movie came out. It's because of the dress, the songs, and the shoes. She's kind of like the face of the princess franchise in the classic era, I gotta say. And it's just impressive how popular she is despite how old her story is, and how many, she's one of those people where if you, even though you've never seen the movie or whatever, at least people are familiar with her own story, which is very iconic of her. Cinderella's number 2. I put number 1 at Ariel. Not only I am an Ariel stan, I love Ariel, but I think it's because Ariel is everywhere in the princess franchise, like more than Cinderella in my opinion. That's why, you know, it's my girl. I guess people do love a redhead in the group, and she is a mermaid. People love mermaids. And I feel like her story, I think Ariel is the most debatable story-wise, because some people are debatable with her choice, what her choice was in that movie, whether if it's for a man or for herself. I'm in her camp, of course, but you cannot argue like how she's everywhere in the Princess franchise. That's why now people put her as the face of it. But like then Cinderella, but like, you know, despite how old like her movie is, like 36 years old, she's still like everywhere. She's actually like a great market princess that's between, she looks good with the old and the new, especially the new. She looks like she fits in with that group, which is rare. She's like a flexible princess. And before, if she would be at the top, she'd probably be at the second place behind Belle, or maybe third place. But usually she's always, in the top 3 when it comes to popular princess, I gotta say. And I love how despite them adding additional princess as the years went on, she still remains one of the popular. Like they never lose sight of her. And she's one of those princesses in the live action space where like she made history, not only like good and bad, but like her Disney princess live action is still going strong with the market. They're still trying to keep that alive, which is very rare when you see like those Disney princess live action versions, except for Ariel, which is really nice. So that's why I put Ariel as the #1 most popular princess over Cinderella, in my opinion. Sorry. So yeah, that is my list. Let me know comments below, what is your favorite princess? Who do you think is the most popular princess? And who do you think has a chance to not be the least popular with time goes on? Or is there still a chance for Raya to still be a popular princess? Voice your opinions and concerns down below. And further ado, that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Can't wait to take off this freaking headband. It's very strong. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye! Have a slay dream. Mwah. Bye! The Disney executives were concerned, like they don't want people to be confused, like why is like... Oh, wait, that's it? Okay.